So becoming a label reader is really important. Looking at the bottle. If it's a plastic bottle, well, that's a cost-cutting decision. If something's listed by weight without strain designations, you have no idea what specific strain of lactobacillus or bifido you might be taking. Sometimes there may be incompatible strains. Sometimes two people just do not get along, and there's nothing you can do about that because personalities clash. Certain strains of microbes inhibit other strains from growing. So you may be thinking you're taking something beneficial, but if you have an incompatible strain, you have something that's inhibiting the growth of maybe the one that you want or need. And then when there's the context of the other ingredients, well, if someone's dairy sensitive, but they don't know what whey is, that could be a problem. And when we're not guaranteeing something through expiration, when you're giving a quantity listed, but you don't have the know-how to make sure that that quantity is just as potent 2 years later, again, Mr. Thurston said it again, he's getting 2 calls out this webinar. The most expensive product you take is the one that doesn't work. Oh, look, there's his quote. How about that? So you will see other probiotics have lactobacillus, they have bifidobacteria in them, but are they encased in sodium alginate? Because that's what we do that's unique. Do they have lactostim? Can you increase the speed of replication and thus the maximal chances for colonization? Do they strain designate? And do they know what strains to use and combine based upon robust research? And can you guarantee the potency through expiration? And that typically means that what you're getting prior to expiration is probably a little more potent than what's actually listed on the label. So it's these details that go into creating a high quality product from a function perspective, from a what's in the bottle perspective, and what does that ingredient do for us. But there's the other side of things, the quality control side. And these are the considerations that are a little less exciting. They're a little drier. But why would you make the most high quality product and serve it in the most poor quality container? There are things that you have to think about when it comes to packaging. For example, I come back to the example of a hot warehouse with a plastic bottle. I think everyone here knows what happens to plastic as it heats up. It leaches things. So if something's sitting in plastic and that's been in a hot warehouse for weeks or months, we have no idea how that's impacted what's inside, which is why we use glass bottles in the first place, not to mention it's more environmentally friendly. Secondly, depending upon the brand, Master Supplements uses amber bottles, whereas US Enzymes uses blue. Both are light refractory glass, which means that excessive amounts of light energy, because light does contain energy called photons, they can cause negative responses when there's an overexposure of light energy to the contents of a bottle. We also do this thing called nitrogen flushing, and we want to make the internal environment drier than the Sahara Desert, because anytime excessive oxygen accumulates, you run the risk of what's called oxidization. And if you've ever looked at the brakes on your car after a rainstorm and they're orange, that's oxidization. But when there's oxygen present, the potential to accumulate moisture is also there, which causes a degradation to the strains themselves, but also the capsules they're packed in. So we make sure that we nitrogen flush the bottles and then pack water-absorbing desiccant packets in there with a triple seal. So that bottle's harder to break into than Fort Knox. The other thing we do is we store our probiotics in cold storage at -10 degrees directly prior to shipping, which not only enhances shelf stability for the probiotic, because most people are able to store Master Supplements and US Enzymes probiotics on the shelf without degradation. I still suggest that you keep them in the fridge if you have them, but it also removes the need to ship with ice packs, which is a lot nicer because you do not want excessive amounts of water accumulating as those ice packs start to melt. And all of this allows us to maintain the integrity of what's inside the bottle, which is what everyone really wants, through expiration. Because even though probiotics expire on label via date, they are still efficacious and helpful after the expiration date.